apply and be accepted. They paid for my senior year, and I got my car. I did my public health in the area of Detroit, which later had all the riots. And I thought, well, 2 years, that's fine. You know, I can do anything for 2 years, and I'll get out and get married and raise a family, right? Well, little did I know. Back in the 50s, there was a song by Eddie Fisher, and the words went, "When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep." If I get through this, I want to share with you some of the many blessings of my 26 years of adventure and attempt to thank in some way the wonderful people who have really enriched my life. Needless to say, the patients I've cared for were certainly a blessing, especially my Marines during Vietnam. Ted Eichley's, Floyd Daniels, and Denny Duello's were quite a challenge to a brand new nurse, who, according to Jane Wathen, still had burnings behind her ears. A little sea story. Friday mornings, we had inspection every single Friday, not just the third Friday like we do here. And in those days, the patients were not allowed to have any civilian clothes. There was no gear adrift. All the lockers had to be open, all the desk drawers stair-stepped. And there I was, brand new. I'd been there, I guess, about maybe 3 months. And I was standing in the middle of this 40-bed open bay ward with a wheelchair piled high, with coffee cups, hangers, civilian clothes. And I was about ready to take it out and put it in my car. And one of the Marines said, "Miss Kay, we'll take care of that." And all of a sudden, all of my amputees grew legs. And that was the way we stowed the gear from every Friday then on. I don't know if Jane Wathen ever found out. Another blessing over the years have been the hospital core staff, who kept me on my toes with their enthusiasm, their eagerness, and their caring. Dave Cooper at Oakland typified them all. When he was on nights, and they worked 14 straight in those days, on that 40-bed ward, not a single patient lacked for a thing. He was there taking care of even the littlest, most minor detail and need. I would come in the morning, and Coop hadn't read the TPRs, he hadn't filed any of the lab shifts. None of the other administrative chores had been taken care of. But he'd trek off to breakfast, and he'd come back with his radio, and he'd set up in the treatment room with the chart rack, and he'd sit there, and pretty soon he was bebopping, and he got all the work done. One other sea story. You can imagine me in the middle of an 80-bed open bay ward on Guam. I was constantly teased by my patients and a corpsman alike. They called me a lifer, and I was only a JG. I think that was because I used to hold reveille with my bandage scissors on the old metal bed. Told them if they were going to soar like an eagle all night, they could crow with the rooster in the morning. They, I think, had a crystal ball and knew the future better than I did, when one morning, in the middle of this gas sick call, they presented me with life stick. One thing that they were wrong on, though, was I didn't get big enough to wear them. I've been blessed with one great duty station after another. I've never had a bad one. Although I will admit that during my first 6 months at HCETC, I would gladly have taken escape orders to Diego Garcia or ADAP. Of course, Admiral Shea had warned me that the learning curve took about 6 months, and she was absolutely right. After that was okay. I've also been blessed with outstanding leadership and guidance over the years, from senior nurses who pointed me in the right direction and placed me in some challenging positions, none of which, I might add, I ever wanted. Jane Wathen moved me from a nice, quiet, regular orthopedic ward to the dirty amputee ward, and I loved it. Admiral Neal at Long Beach rotated me to a female surgical ward, and I remember sitting in her office in tears saying, "I came into the Navy to get away from female patients." And then Dottie Yell, who was responsible for setting me on a career pathway in education. I remember telling her, "I don't want to be in education. My mother was a teacher." That was over 14 years ago. Another blessing during my clinical years were Drs. Bob Salisbury, Stan Donahue, and Dave Subin, who were medical officers that treated me and all the members of the ward staff as equals on a team. We had one common goal, and that was quality patient care. More recently, I've been blessed to work under the Director for Administration after 23 years of working organizationally under nursing service. The opportunity to get to know the twigs is one that I wish each nurse corps, medical corps, and dental corps officer could have. That's the only way I think we're going to survive in the future. I appreciate your support, your camaraderie, and acceptance of me more than you'll ever know. Admiral Halder, your singular support of all the programs we provide, taking time from your busy schedule to come and open every command orientation, giving us the green light and funds to implement new and unusual programs, is indeed a blessing that many of my counterparts do not have. Thank you for all you've done for me, the staff, and the department. Recruiting duty brought me two blessings. First, an opportunity and an exposure to the line Navy, to Chiefs initiations, and wonderful people like my Chief Recruiter, Dave Parker, our photographer, Dottie Ridgway, and my YN, Gus. The second blessing was meeting the Chief of Staff from Area 8, one Commander Dick Holmes. One of the most important blessings over the years has been the staunch support, encouragement, and love from so many good friends who are always there for the good times, but most importantly, during those rare bumps and rough spots. Ian Maffeo, Esther Heston, Pat Melander, I could go on and on, but you know who you are. At Christmas, sending out cards sometimes doesn't seem like a blessing, but the Navy family, going to a new duty station, getting reacquainted with friends from former duty stations has been absolutely marvelous. I was blessed with a mom and dad who never objected to any of my choices, my decisions, or my moves. Actually, Mom, when I was contemplating going to the hospital ship, I think you said, "Not over there where the fighting is." And that was the most negative comment that I ever heard from either one. And Dick, my best friend, what a tremendous blessing you've been. Cool, calm, unflappable. You always listened. You've always been there no matter what. Even though I know at times that you've said that any similarity between the white shoe Navy and your brown shoe Navy was strictly coincidental. The words from a popular song say it best, honey. Did I ever tell you that you're my hero? I can fly higher than an eagle, because you are the wind beneath my wings. You were content to let me shine, and I want you to know the truth. I would be nothing without you. Thank God for you. You are the wind beneath my wings. Now that I've become full-time and can take over some of the chores you've been doing for me, I hope that you'll have time to get back into one of your hobbies. Or the cheery hi, Mom, as you race down the hall to meet me when I get home. Can I tell a story about you? Okay. Just before I left the Excelsior, I was preparing my uniform with extra special care for a personnel inspection. As Daddy and I talked, we were only about 4 years old, and he kept asking questions like, "What's personnel inspection, Mom?" and so on. And the next day, as he raced to meet me when I got home, he asked, "What did you get at inspection?" And I pointed to my meritorious service medal, and he gleefully clapped and jumped up and down and said, "Good girl, you